Oh, sorry guys, getting texts. we'll get we'll get rolling here in a second. All right, let's get started here. Eric, how you doing? Cordell, how you doing? Mr. Films, Tim, thank y'all for chiming in. I appreciate it. You know, we always have fun on these chats every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. All right. How much for E85 conversion? Well, that depends. So it really all depends. Depends on, are you boosted? Are you naturally aspirated? Do you plan on going boosted? How much boost do you plan on running? How much power do you want to make? It all wraps up into it. But for me, my total conversion gosh, about 3,500, give or take. So that's new injectors and an entirely new fuel system. So full return, dual pump for level 4 dual pump system. Okay, Cordell. All right. So yeah, it's gonna cost you, but it's worth it. So from E93 to E85, we picked up 50, 60, somewhere around in there, if I remember correctly. Hey, Bruce, hump day, you know it, buddy. But I think we picked up like 50, 60 from 93 to E85. And I was kind of running, at that time I was running lower boost. I think I was still on 6 to 8 pounds of boost when I made the conversion, I think. But yeah, it's expensive up front, but in the long run, it's better than running race gas, because even today, race gas is ridiculously expensive. I mean, E85 is getting more expensive too, but it's never going to be as expensive as race gas. And the only way you'll get the same timing from E85 is race gas. You'll probably never see it on 93. So expect new injectors. I don't know what injectors you have now. No, I did not swap the valve body in the trans. So I got if you don't know, I got an HP 90. I don't have an HP 70 anymore. It's an HP 90. But I did not swap the valve body in the trans. So expect around 30, I think it was around $3,500. I thought I did a video. I can't remember. I may have done one. I'd have to go back and look at the old stuff. But I think it was around 3,500, because I know the 1050 injectors I got from a buddy of mine. So I got them used. I got them for 900. I think it was 900. And then I think the level 4 dual pump full return system was like 24, 25, something like that, 100. And then of course you got to get buy all new lines from the pump all the way up to the fuel rails. Yeah, so it was like 3,500 or so, something like that. Fall is here. Fall is here. So that's what you could expect, Cordell. Now, depending on your power level, could you get away with a single pump? maybe, but I'm telling you, fuel is one thing you don't want to skimp on. But just make sure you get the right level injectors for what you expect to do, not what you're doing now. So if your goal is much, if your power level, time, whatever your goal is, if you're adding a bunch of horsepower and more boost, you may want to look at a little bit bigger injectors. So where I was at, I was running 1050s, ID 1050Xs. And they, when I switched to the new system, they were maxing out. they were tapping out. I mean, I'm talking like 90% range tapping out. Running those 9-second passes. So now we got the 1650s. Arguably they're a little bit too big. We did it. We got it tuned. But it was just we had to finagle some things to make it easier, but we figured it out. I mean, it's all in figuring things out. But probably 1440s would have been better. And Cradell, I don't know, I don't know if you have a 5.7, a 6.4, a 6.2, a Hellcat. I'm not sure what you got, but anyway, yeah. Are you doing any track events before the winter comes? Absolutely. We'll be out all of the rest of September, all of October, and most of the tracks go to roughly mid-November, close to Thanksgiving. Some of them. I don't know how long Capitol plans on being open, but I ran in December at Capitol way before, years and years ago. When I was NA, we ran in December at Capitol. So, there's plenty more track days coming. While we're on track days, if y'all saw the last video, wasn't necessarily a good day for shake and bake on ice. Okay, Cradell. Yeah, I would look at if you're looking at getting into 7, 8, 900 horsepower, I would get like 1440s fuel injector clinic 1440s. That's probably going to be right your sweet spot. I wish I would have got 1440s. It would have made life a little bit easier. But it does give me room to grow. Let's see, back into the chat here. Vision. There ain't no miles per gallon in this chat. It's smiles per gallon, because you're not going to get a whole lot of miles per gallon. But going by the car, cruising speed, 15, 16, city, I don't know, it's probably in the single digits, maybe 10 in the city, but cruising, it's probably around 15, 16. And that's just the few cruises I've done on the new injectors. So there's that. So bigger injectors, more fuel. It is what it is. You really can't modifying your car this far. You're not really gonna. You shouldn't be worried about miles per gallon. If you're worried about miles per gallon, stay stock. Because once you start modifying, you know what, you could do a few things, get a tune, and you may get squeeze a few more miles per gallon out of your car, just for efficiency's sake. But if you're looking to seriously modify your car, if you're worried about miles per gallon, I wouldn't do it, because it's just going to keep going like this. The more you do, the faster you go, the more fuel you use, the less and less your miles per gallon is going to get. No, I get you, Cradell. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody everybody wants to be different, right? You know, if you do the same thing everyone else does on especially on YouTube, it everything's been done 1,000 times. But Torque Storm, nothing wrong with the Torque Storm. I heard a lot of good things from those. So, yeah. I'm sorry, Bruce. I missed your MIR question. Yes, they always do a track rental before the Modern Street Hemi Shootout. So it's usually the day before. I can't remember what day the shootout is. I think it's Saturday. If it's Saturday, they do the track rental on Friday. So it's usually the day before. Smiles per gallon. You got it, JLP. That's what it's about in this chat is smiles per gallon. Yeah, Bruce, you know the deal. More air, more fuel, and more fuel is less miles per gallon. It's just the way it is. And especially with E85. You know, you're already burning roughly 30% more fuel with E85 than you are on 93. So take that into consideration too. Yeah, I got you, Bruce. Yeah, Cordell. You know, him and I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But yeah, he's a good guy. RT Life is really a good guy. And you guys got to understand he's doing YouTube for a living. So he makes a living off of YouTube. So he's got to go where the views are and where he gets the most out of his videos. And really nowadays modifications and track rentals and stuff like that and doing stuff at the track and modifications to your car, that time has passed. I mean, you even look at even look at mine. I'm getting a couple thousand, maybe 1,000. And you know, for him to make a living off of YouTube, he's got to get tens of thousands of views to make a living. So just remember that when you're watching his channel. Yeah, like I said, Bruce, it's always the day before. All the daily driving you ever thought about dragging? I've thought about a lot of drag and drive events, but I'm always late to the game. It's like by the time I find out what's going on, it's already sold out. It's already sold out. You know, like trying to get in the one that Cletus does, Rocky Mountain Race Week. You really got to get in before you can stay in. It's tough. But yeah, I would love to do a drag and drive event. I've even thought about already thought about putting the tow hitch on the back of the car to get ready for one. But yeah, I would love to do a drag and drive event. Cordell, I'm running a 2.8 pulley on the Torque Storm. It's maxed out at 14 pounds. I got you. That's pretty healthy. That's pretty healthy. Yeah, I'm sure you're running pretty good at 14 pounds. That is absolutely, that is 100% correct, Eric. E85 is not fuel efficient. It takes 30% more E85 to make the same, to be as efficient as 93 octane. Yeah, regular gas is more efficient than E85. But E85 makes more power. It's got more octane. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's not. I promise you. Yeah, gas makes a bigger bang than E85 does. But like I said, E85's got more octane, which retards knock, which you can add more timing. Where 93, you really can't do that. Brandon RTK Life is still waiting for final touches. The shop he goes to. Yeah. He's still waiting on them to finish up his car. Yeah, it was sad to see that the shop catch on fire, but lucky for him, his car was across the street when it caught on fire. So his car wasn't in the fire. But now it's just he's got to he's just waiting for them to figure out the trans issue. So if you're not familiar, my trans, I sent my TCM off to Hellraiser Performance, Charles, who unfortunately has passed away. So he's no longer alive. So I'm not sure who anymore can do what he was doing to the TCMs to make an HP90 work. But I'm sure those guys will figure it out eventually. It just it just takes time. Yeah. RT Life's a bit of a traitor though. He did stroke his car out. So he's stroked out to a 397 now. Frostbite, I think he's still a 5.7 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's only a couple true 5.7s. Matter of fact, I've said this before. I'm not necessarily a true 345 5.7. My car is bored out 20 over, so actually we did the numbers. I'm actually a 348, which then equates to 5.702. So take that for what you will too. If you go boost and keep the engine stockish, you can make decent power and keep it street friendly. Absolutely 100%. When I first went to the Pro Charger, I was surprised of the street manners of the car. And still today, if I don't put my foot in it, it obviously doesn't drive stockish anymore, but it's relatively a nice drive, until you stick your foot in it. Now then stuff just gets crazy from there. But yeah, if you keep your engine kind of like you said, if you keep your engine stockish, you can make a nice daily with some nice power. Brandon, thoughts on putting a 1320 torque converter on a Pro Charge car? I think the stall speed is 2350, but multiples torque by 18. I've heard it. Again, you hear a lot of things, right? So the 1320 is, if I'm not mistaken, the same as the Demon, same as the Red Eyes, the same torque converter. You can try it. Especially if you're on an HP90. I heard people say for months, don't go with the 4000 stall. It won't handle it. It won't take it. It won't be nice. And I went ahead and got a 4000 stall, and I'm cutting low 1.4 60 foots before. So I'm more of a higher. If you're at the track, if you're looking straight at track stuff, go with a higher stall. Now it's a little touchy when you start daily driving something with a 4000 stall torque converter. It's doable. You just got to be careful what you're doing. But if you're in the daily range, I dailied my car at 34 to 3600, and it was perfectly fine. Now there's some times where you get into that groan, you get into that stall speed, but 34, 3600, you'll be fine. Southern Indiana 1320 flash is about 2850. Yeah, and so where it flashes depends on a lot, right? Hey, sorry, got to calm the dogs down. They're going crazy over here. Yeah, stall. You guys know as well as I do. Stall speed depends on a lot of things. Your gearing. It can even depend upon your tires, how sticky they are. There's a lot that goes into flashing the torque converter. But um, what's up, Jay? What's going on, buddy? But yeah, I mean, you could go with a 1320 torque converter, but for the track, I'm all about a little bit higher stall speed. Ah, come on, Jay. We're not hating. We're having fun. Yeah, Jay. We hadn't even started beating on the stick shift guys yet. Southern Indiana just got back from Mopar 13 11 4 120. Nice, man. That's a good time. That's a good trap speed. Mostly stock with a 100 shot. Nice. Nice. Mike Hauser, thanks, brother. I appreciate the super chat, man. That's awesome. Actually, you know what I mean? Strace car. You know it. Uh, same thing's going on. It's always been going on. You know the deal. We just take things one week at a time, one test and tune at a time. But I definitely appreciate the super chat, man. That's awesome. What I do get out of that is going right back into shake and bake 100%. No doubt. Yeah, I was wanting to get the Mo party, and it just the timing just didn't work out for me this year. I was really, really trying to get the Mo party, but like I said, I just couldn't make it happen. There's RT Life. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. Someday I'll get down there and we'll get to the track and have some fun, or we'll just cruise around like we always do and just have fun. I'll get down your way soon. You 1320 as big bucks. Circle D torque converter is a better buy for the money. Keep the stall 32, 36. The car will be. Yeah. You kind of took the words out of my mouth. I think I already talked about it. But yeah, 32, 3600. I was in the 34, 3600 range when mine was stalling up. It was a Circle D torque converter, 100%. Yeah, I love that torque converter. It literally dropped 2/10 off my 60 foot, 4/10 off the big end. So there you go. Eric, like I said, Eric, I'll get down there one day, or maybe he'll get up here one day, and we'll get to the track. We'll get to the track and have some fun. RT Life going back with Eric. Yeah, he's sticking with 93. He's not going to go E85 because and RT Life. I don't think there's much E85 down around your way anyway. I remember 2 years ago when I went, it was tough for me to find good E85 anyway. All right, Mike. I got you, buddy. Road trip maybe might be done to go next year. Hopefully, man. Yeah. It's you know the shops get busy, and then still parts are some parts are painful to get a hold of. It's just if you're wanting to mod your car now, make sure you're ready for some lead time because parts are still somewhat of a nightmare. JLP, if you want to try meth, I got a throttle body adapter plate, number 3 and 5 nozzles, some other meth goodies. Just saying. Hey. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with water meth. I know a few people have said, "Hey, try water meth in the ice tank too." So we may try that too. I've been thinking more and more about water meth. We'll keep thinking about it, and really all I would use it for at this point is for its cooling properties. I wouldn't tune it on the water meth, uh, just because hey, you run out, then you're in trouble. But that's a whole nother story. But I have been thinking about water meth, 100% JLP. A lot of people would put that bug in my ear. We'll see. We'll see. Hugh, you bring up a great point. If you're running 93, water meth is a great addition. If you're running 93. Stick life, you know it, Jay. I know you love that stick life, buddy. Yeah, Brandon. I mean, I just don't have much comparison other than the stock converter that come in the 5.7 in my car, and switching to the Circle D 3600. Um, I mean, I've heard a lot of people using 1320 torque converters. It's tough. I don't have any experience with it. I'll say that, but I do have experience with the with the Circle D torque converter, and yeah, Bruce and Jay, you stick folks got to stay together, man. You guys got to stick together. I know it. Maybe it was just I was down there, like I said, a couple years ago, and it was tough to find good E85. There was E85 down there, but it was like sheets, and it was like 70%. So it's just tough trying to find good E85. All right, Mike. 04 GT on stick. 1190s all day. That's awesome. I got you, Mike. Yeah. Look out for those parts lead time, man, because yeah, that'll get you. Yeah, I got you, RT Life. 100%, buddy. Like I said, it was hard. It was hard, especially there around the Orlando track. You figure you're at a racetrack, there'd be a lot of places for E85, but there was like none around Orlando Raceway when I was there a couple years ago. I get 1.7 foot and occasional 1.6 with a 32 stall torque converter. V6 Mustang that makes no torque down low. Torque converter was well worth it. 100%. There is no doubt about it. An upgraded torque converter, whichever route you go, an upgraded torque converter is well worth it. 100%. All right, Eric's talking back to Mike JLP. All right, thanks, buddy. I appreciate the shout out. I appreciate it. Ghost RT. Do you plan on doing a stroker setup at some point? Absolutely not. I am about to make a video, probably maybe tomorrow morning, depending if I can. So here we go. So I boogered up two of my wheel studs. So one I got to cut off because I sheared off the lug nut, the long one that goes on the drag pack on the if you're not familiar with Raystar, they got the long lug nuts. Well, I sheared one off. Took me a while. Finally got the tire off. Now I got to cut one of the studs and fix two of them. So, but my plan is to do a video tomorrow on that very topic, Ghost RT, comparing, well, not really comparing, but talking about the route I took and the route Um, let's just be honest. There's obviously 100% better ways to make 900 horsepower with a Hemi than the route I went. Strokers, absolutely the way to go. Transplant to a 6.4, definitely a good way to go. Stroke out a 6.4, right? So yeah, absolutely. There's cheaper, better, somewhat easier ways to make 900 horsepower, but I wanted to stick with the 5.7 platform. Yes, I'm board 20 over, so technically I did do something to the engine. Yes, I'm a little bit bigger in cubic inches, but I'm still within a 5.7. 5.7, 5.702, by the way. So, but that's going to be my discussion because I've had a couple people hit me up. Here we go, trolls and haters. It was on the red eye race I did with Alan. The short I did from that race. Dude called me a chump because I put $25,000-$30,000 into my car to race a red eye. Well, one, I'm still cheaper than the red eye, so you can call me a chump if you want to. But by the way, I'm still the smallest of the Hemis, the newer Hemis, smallest of the newer Hemis, and I'm keeping up with one of the top line trims. So call me a chump if you want to. Yeah, you know what? I could go buy a freaking Fox body, right? Just the just a roller, throw an LS in there, boost it to death, throw some nitrous at it, and yeah, you can go 8s, 7s. Shoot, you can even take some of them cars into the 6s if you want to. Yeah, absolutely, that's the easier route. But you know what? That's not the route I took. That's not the route I wanted to take, and there's reasons why I didn't want to do that, right? Yeah, you can put your $25,000-$30,000 into something else, make it faster, and go on about your business. All right, off the haters. But anyway, so I do plan on doing a quick video on that topic. Yes, there are better, easier ways to make 900 horsepower than staying in a 5.7 and going with other platforms. It's fact. It's just is what it is. So yeah, I don't plan on stroking the car out. But that's not to say, year or two down the road, I get a wild hair and yeah, let's stroke it out. But right now, I don't see that happening. Mike's talking to Eric. RT Life, yeah, we know you're not a drag racer, buddy. We know you're a street guy. It is an expensive hobby. I got you, Hugh. I got you. Eric, fun but expensive, 100%. Jay, I talk converters because I can't talk clutches. That's why I got you in here. When people ask the clutch questions, that's why I got you in here to answer those. See, here we go. That C85 is expensive. Don't get me wrong. It's great fuel. Absolutely 100% because it's oxygenated as well. It's not only concentrated, but it's oxygenated as well. And they use a lot better gas in that 15%. I'm guessing it's probably MS-109 is that other 15%. But I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing at this point. But yeah, C85, 100%. Yeah, I picked up 2/10 not even being tuned for it. And the only reason I ran it is because we were running a little rich anyway. So running C85 put me, right at where I should have been, around 11.5, 11.6 AFR. But yeah, so C85 compared to race gas, not I'm not really sure how much a difference there is. Yeah. If you're gonna run, yeah. I'm sorry, Brandon. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. It was fun running the C85, 100%, no doubt about it. Loved it. But 85, $90 for 5 gallons is expensive. And then if you want to run C85, like you're saying, you got to get the flex fuel kit, you got to get the injectors, you got to get pumps, the whole nine. You're still converting to E85, but now you're running C85, where you probably, arguably now, right? You could have got the same thing out of MS 109 or a C16, one of those race fuels, without having to convert to E85 and be in the same boat. Arguably, maybe you make a little bit more power with C85 and get a little more timing out of it. But it's just super expensive. That's why I just run. I go to here right outside of Fort Meade, guaranteed 80% or better every time I go there. Ram clutch went up $200. Last I checked, gonna have to sell a kidney. I hear you, Bruce. Southern Indiana, I'm doing 1.760 foot, my 1320, no nitrous, stock tires. I suggest the highest stall for track passes if only a daily driving 13. That's, yeah, I'm with you, Southern. You took the words right out of my mouth, really. And I want to say I said that earlier. if you really want a track monster, get the highest stall torque converter you can get. And like he says, if you want a daily at 1320 is not a bad option. Like I said, and Hugh said earlier, the 32 to 3600 range is not bad for a daily if you want to do a Circle D torque converter. There you go. Timothy, glad your clutch isn't boned yet. Paul, think installing headers first as a good starting point for other upgrades, possible boost, then camshaft, move on from there. What are your thoughts on that? Yeah, absolutely. Because technically, if you're doing long tube headers, technically you don't have to tune for them, but to get the most out of them, you're going to need a tune. But yeah, headers is a good point, a good start point. A nice catback exhaust eventually, especially if you're going to go boost in the long run. Yeah, and then camshaft, move on from there. Yeah, 100%. That's not a bad plan. That's not a bad plan. Jay, never do a stroker, but I'll be your Huckleberry. I'm with you. Yeah, maybe we'll think about that in a couple years. Like I said, a couple years. All right, RT Life. We had this discussion, and you busted me out on the phone in our conversation. But I'm still 5'7". It's 5.702. Just a tad bigger than a 345. And RT Live, you know the deal. You've dealt with these trolls and haters much more than I have, and I've got very, very few. That's actually one of the first ones that really got it under my skin just a tad. In case you couldn't tell by my rant, but yeah, he got under my skin just a tad. You know what I mean? It boils down to respect, right? And I'm trying not to bash any generation of folks, but these newer generations coming along, they just have no respect for people at all. Period. There's just no respect. And that comment proves it, right? And I'm trying not to lump everybody in. because there's a lot of good people out there. Don't get me wrong, uh, but a majority of, and this is just because I've been dealing with people for the last 4 years, 5 years, dealing directly with people. There's just no respect. There's no there's no honor in your word anymore. When you say something, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you go a total different direction. Anyway, all right, off my soapbox now. Ghost RT 24 Challenger RT Hemi Sport Ram 5.7. Yeah, buddy. 5.7, way to go, 100%. Yeah, Brandon, and like I said, he's probably a guy that's got some Fox body with an LS swap and some nitrous, right? Got it. You can make that horsepower, right? Not necessarily make the horsepower, but you can you can run fast with a Fox body with an LS swap and some nitrous. You can't. It's proven. People, thousands of people have done it, and that's the point. Thousands of people have done it. It's been done and proven. But taking the 5.7 in the form that it's in, taking it to where I've taken it, I really haven't seen anybody do it. Now, again, we've talked about this before. Was it Crazy Performance, I think, or something, or Crazy House Performance? They had a Dakota that went 9.6s. But one, that's a Dakota. It's not a daily driver. It's got a turbo 400. I think it was a turbo 400. So there was a lot of things different there. I'm out here with, well, now it's a built 5.7. Built 5.7, stock HP90 trans, more towards the car the way it was built. Anyway, off that soapbox too. What sporting mods do you need for an RT with a Whipple? The same. Long tube headers, a nice flowing catback exhaust. If you don't go straight pipe, and really depends. Do you want it to be a daily driver, or do you want it to be a race car or a strace car? Right? You can have your own strace car. But definitely long tube headers, catback exhaust. If you're going to the track, you're going to want a torque converter. Now Whipples, if I'm not mistaken, they like a little tighter torque converter than you would want to go with a Pro Charger or a turbo. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be talking out the side of my mouth, but Whipples tend to like a little bit tighter torque converter. So 1320, for example, may be a good one with a Whipple. It's hard to answer these questions if I don't know where you're going with the car, right? Do you want a race car, street car? Do you want a straight up race car? Do you want a straight up street car? Or you do more street than you do race, or you race more than you do street? A lot goes into what modifications you want to do. You're going to want to do suspension because your suspension eventually is not going to hold up to the power that you're going to wind up making. And you're talking about a drag pack for the racetrack. But if it's a daily, you could go with you can go with some 6.4 headers or shorty headers to keep it street legal. Really street legal, not this way open mullet's a street car. Is mullet really a street car? but you know what I'm saying. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's the typical bolt-on mods this to support the Whipple, right? Um, yeah. So hopefully I answered your question, Trent. Kind of roundabout way. Some kind of headers, depending on how you want to go with where you're going with the car. Some kind of catback exhaust, depending on where you're going with the car. Whether you want sound or you want performance. Um, Torque converter for the track if you track the car. If you're looking for a number at the track. Um, you could go with a different intake, cold air intake. You can make a track intake like Incredible Hemi did for his. Um, and like I said, you're going to need the suspension stuff. Brandon, definitely keep in mind 57345 with mainly drop-in forged internals. Nice. So know your car by building it or just buy a bigger motor. I'd rather know my engine. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Bruce. All right, Jay. Brandon, you thought of Maurice, you thought about a Mishimoto radiator and oil cooler. So I didn't go Mishimoto. I've heard varying things about the Mishimoto. So I went with, oh gosh, um, extreme cooling engineering. I can't remember the exact name of it for the radiator. Um, and then so I don't think I have to go back and look. I can't remember if the um, I think it already has an oil cooler, if I'm not mistaken, because of the Super Track Pack. I think the Super Track Pack came with an oil cooler. But yeah, I didn't go with Mishimoto. You'd have to go back. You have to go into one of. I didn't even start this video. You have to go back into one of my videos and look. You know what? Let me just do this real quick. I'll tell you which one I got. Don't tell me I didn't put it in here. The one thing I didn't put in there. Dang it. I'll have to get that for you. I can't remember which the name of the one I bought. It was an off brand. But it's worked out great. 100%. It's been awesome. I haven't seen it go above like 195 even in the heat. 45 to 4800 for the street. I got you, Mike. Now that might be a little iffy to be running on the street. But yeah. All right. Jay's going back and forth with Bruce. God, I skipped way down. Hang on. Jay owns like 457s. Yeah, you got a bunch in there. Yeah, I know, Hugh. I just, man, I just wish I had more time of the day. More time of the day. Work's been keeping me extremely busy the past couple of months. Um, it's just I haven't had a whole lot of time to try and figure that out. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. We definitely got some good people that would make good guests on a talk show. Yeah, Mike, he's a 397. 397. All right. Hey, thanks for the subscribe. I appreciate it, G Miller. If you're in the chat, I appreciate the subscribe. All right. Timothy talking about Jay. No, Jay, he's talking about doing uh, uh a monthly live kind of talk show. So instead of me just reading comments and talking, having one of the subscribers like you for example, right, put you in a little box uh, down here, and we talk back and forth. Um, I definitely got to try. I'm with you, Hugh. I definitely got to try and figure that out. Hey, you got it, Brandon. 100% money game, no doubt about it. The more money you have, the faster you can go. That's just the way it is, and it doesn't matter what engine you have. It just takes money, time, and patience. You can go as fast as you want. Bruce is going back. Eric, 1000%. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Millennials are the last generation to grow up without cell phones and three wheelers. All right, Timothy. All right, Jay and Bruce going back and forth. The oldest millennials are 40. I got you, Timothy. Yeah, Mike, that's all right. I'm not getting on my soapbox again, but yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely 100%. All right, RT, we'll catch you out later, buddy. I'm sure you're probably gone by now. I'm just getting to the bottom here. Yeah, I'm with you, Hugh. I don't bang the V6s. I really don't. You know the deal. They're just never going to sound like a V8, no matter how hard you try. But there is nothing wrong with the V6s. You know, these Hurricane engines. It's eventually the future, until someone puts the EPA on the wraps. It's going to go smaller and more boost. Before long, we're going to be like the Hondas running 4 cylinders and 60 pounds of boost and blowing up on the track every day. But anyway, I'm trying to stay out of the political game. But you're right. Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with seeing a V6 whoop up on a V8. Because you're right. V6s do not get enough love. All right, Bruce, we'll catch you later too, buddy. I got you, Jay. Jay, I love a manual too. Like I've said it numerous times. If this wouldn't have been a daily driver, and me being in the area I'm in with traffic, I would have bought a stick shift car. I opened up a can of worms when I started talking about generations, but it's just people don't have respect for people anymore. It's sad. It really is. All right, what's going on, Cook Boy? Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, Jay. I get it's registered. Anyway. All right, Brandon, we'll check you out later. Yeah, Hugh, if you ever get a chance to come down here, make sure you hit me up before you come down. Yeah, I can't remember which one I mentioned it in. You know what? I'm gonna have to go back and put it in the description once I figure out what it is. I should know what it is off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I don't. But I'll go back, get it. I'll put it into the description. Yeah, Jay, that's what Hugh's talking about. Is having people like you know, even get Hugh on here for a while. You know, get Mike, get any of the Mikes, Mike Hauser, Mike Stark, Mike Marshall. Get all y'all on here. Oh, you're up in Connecticut. I got you. All right, Hugh and Jay are going back and forth. Old lady bought a all-wheel drive Chrysler Pacifica with more power than the new WRX. Imagine that. Yeah, I really do got to figure it out. Jay was saying he was going to go to the Mopar event. Maxie Bill, what's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Paul, considering the Texas speed, chop monster, love the chop sound. I just want to know how much performance I'm giving up versus my love for the chop. Yeah, it really depends on the specs. Like, yeah, Jay's getting you there. So, you know, I I did say it's sound versus performance. It is, but you know, there's also some middle ground, and I think that's where my MMX cam is. I get I got a lot of I got more chop than I thought I was gonna get, so I got a lot of chop. But y'all seen the car performs. Um, so how much you'll leave on the table? Again, kind of depends on the specs of the cam. 10, 20, 30 maybe. Give or take. And if you're not shooting for something for a time on the track, get the choppy cam, man. Get the choppiest cam you want. You know, it's all in what you want out of the car, buddy. If you love the chop, get. I just don't want you to be disappointed by losing some chop and getting a little more performance than getting the chop that you wanted. Right? Get the chop you want. You'll never know what you're missing because you never had it in the first place. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? You're not going to know what you're losing if you never had it to lose in the first place. So there you go. Get the chop. Go for it. There's mics everywhere. We got like what 3 mics in our IG chat. So yeah, Mike, there's a bunch of y'all mics out there. It's you have no idea, Mike. Yep. Yeah, we'll figure something out, Jay. I just I got to figure it out. Specs on the 220, 230, 582, 582, 110 LSA. Yeah, I don't think you're leaving much on the table, man. I really don't. You're probably leaving a little bit. I mean, that's roughly kind of the same specs of my cam. My LSA is a little larger, but yeah, Paul, I don't think you're leaving too much on the table, buddy. Go for it. So Ghost RT, it depends. It depends on the cam, right? Um, it really depends on the cam, but like I said, you can't go wrong with a higher stall torque converter. You really can't. You really can't. Because I was on the CompCam 270 and I got the 3600 Circle D stall torque converter. And like I said, it dropped 2/10 in the 60 foot and 4/10 on the big end. But like I said, yeah, Ghost RT. If you're everybody wants torque converters, but if you're not racing the car and you're not looking for a number, um, you don't really need a torque converter. You don't really need a torque converter. Or if you're a roll racer, you you really don't need a torque. Really don't need a torque converter. But if you are going to the track and trying to get something out of the car, a high stall torque converter will definitely do you justice. All right, folks, it is 10 o'clock. I just took a look at the time. I appreciate everyone chiming in, and Mike, I definitely 100% appreciate the super chat. Shake and Bake definitely appreciates the super chat. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals, if there's any gals out there. I know we had one the last couple weeks. I appreciate everyone that supports the channel, whether you're subscribed or not. I wish you would subscribe, would be cool. But if you don't feel like subscribing, you don't have to subscribe. As long as you're watching the videos, that's all I'm worried about. And y'all haters out there, if you're watching the videos, you're making me money, haters. But that's it for this one, folks. Till the next one, maybe tomorrow if I can get it done. I'm trying to get the car fixed. But if I can get it done, we'll get another video out tomorrow night, and we'll go from there. So until next time, folks, adios. Yeah, Paul, you're good, buddy. You're good with that cam. That's not too bad. You're gonna get your chop, and like I said, you're not leaving much on the table. But that's it for this one. I gotta go. That's it for this one. Till next time, adios.